probably saying to yourself, Lincoln, with 10 sisters, there's no way you're going to get to watch your favorite show. And you'd be right.
Only 10 siblings? Hey Lincoln, try living in the Rift Cafe with over 144 members. Yeah, consider yourself lucky. Hello everyone, I'm your cartoon and animation fanatic, Channel Hopper, and the channels I hop through are good enough to review. Today's review is a look at the new Nickelodeon show called The Loud House. The show is created by Chris Savino, who directed shows like My Life as a Teenage Robot, Dexter's Lab, Kick Buttowski, Johnny Test, and the Powerpuff Girls. The show centers around our main character Lincoln Loud, who struggles to survive in a house with 10 sisters. That's right, 10 sisters, and 2 parents. Everyone who's ever had siblings, roommates, or even ghosts hiding in their attic can find this show very relatable. The Loud House is your typical slice of life story told from Lincoln's perspective as the middle child, and would often break the fourth wall to give the audience some insight into his life and obstacles he faces on a daily basis, like sitting at the kiddie table, trying to get to the TV first, getting the best seat in the van, and facing the bully at school. I'll go over episodes worth mentioning later in the video. Now, the names of the sisters and their characters are as followed. We have Lori, the older sister and sarcastic one, Lenny the dumb blonde who's kind of a less eccentric version of Dee Dee, Luna the British talking musician, Luann the back joke telling comedian, Lynn the energetic athlete, Lucy the goth or emo, I forget which, Lola the girly girl, Lana the tomboy, Lisa the genius, and Lily the baby. If I had to pick favorites, my top 3 would be Luna, Lucy, and Lisa. Each character has their own unique trait and manages to play off one another perfectly without feeling exaggerated or stereotypical. Other characters worth mentioning are the parents and Lincoln's best friend Clyde. The parents' faces are never shown, which is alright with me since the children are the main focus of the show, and we've seen this move done in a variety of other shows before. As for Clyde, he's Lincoln's right-hand man and often helps Lincoln complete his task as well as try to hit on his older sister.
Don't worry, beautiful. I'll share my buns with you.
Now onto the show's design and animation. Each character has a simplistic design consisting of a round or bean-shaped head and cylindrical bodies with noodles for arms and legs, which offers fluid motion for the characters, unlike some shows who look like their limbs can fall off at any moment. The scenery looks well designed and is very reminiscent of old comic book illustrations, which leads into how I would describe the animation of the show, a comic book in motion. The humor of the show ranges from sarcasm to ironic and situational humor, or in other words, a sitcom with a little slapstick thrown in there. But what surprises me the most is the use of fart jokes and toilet humor in the show that manages to not feel as cringeworthy as other shows put it, and are used effectively and not obsessively. The show also has some risque humor that is just downright hilarious.
You know, I'm noticing a complete lack of balls in this room. No soccer balls, no footballs, no baseballs, no balls!
One last thing I want to go over before I talk about a few episodes worth watching is the opening theme song. My god, I love this theme song. I haven't heard rock music used in the theme song since Generator Rex and What's New Scooby-Doo, and Johnny Test, but that was just Green Day's American Idiot edited. I will forever hate the show for that. The song was composed by Doug Rockwell and sums up the show perfectly in just 30 seconds. Further analysis on the lyrics, duck, dodge, push and shove, it's how we show our love, shows that their constant fighting is just something they learn to live with. Going further into the extended version, we see that the Loud siblings are a team in all this and work together to solve their problems without driving their mom and dad crazy. For the most part. But enough about that, let's talk about some episodes worth watching. First up is the butterfly effect, where Lincoln accidentally destroys Lisa's experiment, which causes a chain of events with the Loud family and causes them to go their separate ways. The characters acting crazier than usual is something worth seeing in this episode. Next up is Undie Pressure, which centers around the Loud siblings making a bet to see who can go the longest without engaging in their annoying habits. I won't say who wins, but I will admit that I didn't see it coming. And lastly, my most recommended episode would have to be Left in the Dark, Basically, Lincoln wants to watch the final episode of his favorite TV show, but the power goes out and he misses it. I remember when me and Grayson always fought over the remote. One time I glued the remote to my hand so I always had control of the TV. Not one of my best ideas. So moving on, what makes me truly admire this show is how each of the characters are likable and relatable in their own way and manage to play off one another's flaws and strengths just like real siblings would. They each get plenty of screen time without feeling left out or overused. While getting along is hard for them, they each still support each other and look out for one another as a family. These are some of the best animated siblings I've seen in a cartoon. Maybe a top 10 list is in order here. But that's for another time. And that was the Loud House review, everyone. Let me know what you all thought about the show in the comments below. And as always, I'm your cartoon and animation fanatic, Channel Hopper, and the next review is just a click away.